What's up, everyone? I'm Sophia Pasternak, an award-winning author and mental health professional, and this channel is all about the intersection where writing meets psychology. I also post stuff about my author journey, baking bread, and outdoorsy stuff. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe so you're notified when I post a new video. So today I'm going to be talking about the subjugation schema as part of my character therapy series. And if you didn't tune into the last one, that was like my midpoint. So I am kind of over the hump and we're going downhill. So these are the last half of schemas. This is kind of exciting. I didn't expect to be done quite this fast. So a character with the subjugation schema will kind of always have this thought of, if I don't surrender, somebody will hurt me. And they believe that if they don't surrender to the needs of others, there's going to be punishment or retaliation. Characters with the subjugation schema follow the demands of others at the expense of their own desires, or they will suppress their emotions because they believe that others will retaliate against them if they express them. So subjugation is different from self-sacrifice because self-sacrifice is voluntary and subjugation is kind of coerced. Those of the subjugation schema feel like they're at the mercy of more powerful authority figures, and they fear that if they go against this authority, they'll be punished. This schema might begin in childhood due to an authority figure being very authoritarian to your character and basically forcing them to obey. So they get that into their head that I must obey or I will be punished. So in my character therapy overview video, watch it if you haven't, I talk about the 3 responses to schema triggers, and they are overcompensation, avoidance, and surrender. Now, the overcompensators believe that the opposite of the schema is true. So in this case, we have the schema is I have to surrender or I will be harmed. So the opposite of this is I can do what I want and nothing's going to happen to me. Overcompensators of the subjugation schema will behave very passive aggressively, or they will be outright rebellious. They'll rebel against this authority. The avoiders, to them, the schema does not exist. So, oops, I burned myself the other day and I think it just, ouch, okay. So they will avoid relationships. They will avoid situations in which their needs are different than the needs of others, and they super avoid any conflict. They don't want to put themselves at odds with anyone because they fear that if they do, they're going to be punished. And the surrenderers, they believe that the schema is true. I'm just going to go with it. Yeah, I'm going to get punished. They will comply with the wishes of others. They will choose domineering and controlling partners, and they will just let other people make choices for them because they don't want to kind of rock the boat. When we are planning out character arcs, we have 4 pieces to a character arc. The lie, the want, the truth, and the wound. So the lie is your character's fundamental incorrect belief. So for this particular schema, it could be stuff like, I let other people have their way so they don't retaliate against me. The major decisions in my life weren't my own. I get back at people in little ways instead of showing my anger. And I'll avoid confrontation in whatever way I can. The want is what your character thinks they need to be happy. In this case, it would be to find someone who won't hurt me, to be in a relationship with somebody who won't hurt me. Now, the want is always false because it's predicated upon the belief that the lie is true. The lie is not true, so the want cannot be accurate. What they actually need is the truth. What does your character actually need to be happy? And they need to understand that their own needs are valid and they should be able to speak up for themselves without always fearing retaliation. And the ghost is optional, but I really like knowing it for my, just FYI, for FMI, I guess, what caused the belief in the first place. So what trauma did they have in their past that caused them to be afraid of people retaliating against them? So now is the point in the video where I want you to grab a piece of paper, grab a sticky note, whatever, and write down what is your main character's relationship with the lie. So I gave some examples up above of specific thoughts that people with the subjugation schema have. So use one of those or make up your own for somebody believing that if they stand up for themselves in any way, they're just gonna get attacked. They're going to get beaten down for it. Okay, so now I want you to make a list of what could happen to reinforce that lie. And that is any thoughts that your character might have, any events that might happen, even just they see a thing on TV. It could be anything that happens to enforce the lie. Just make a bullet list of those. In this case, it might be that, yeah, that one time I did stand up for myself and I got beaten up for it. That's totally reinforcing that lie. And now, make a list of things that could happen to challenge the lie, to disprove the lie. So if they stand up for themselves and they actually are listened to, that would disprove this lie in this particular case. Okay, so save that list. Don't erase that Word document. Don't throw away those Post-it notes. Tuck it away in your now growing file of possible reinforcements and challenges to the various lies we've talked about, and just save it so that later when you're coming through your story to revise it, or if you're in Act 2 is usually when this happens, you're in Act 2 and you're having a tough time and you just cannot figure out what to do next, grab one of these ideas out, write a scene about it. It might not stay, you might not keep this particular scene in your story, but maybe it'll jog what's going on in here, and you can come up with something that you do want to keep. I also do this when I'm revising. I come through and all of my scenes get evaluated. Does this reinforce the lie? Does this challenge the lie? And if the answer is no to both of those, why is this scene even here? I like to talk about the arc as kind of a seamless thing, and that means that you don't have any gaps. So there's no scenes, there's no chapters that don't serve the lie. Everything should be serving the lie as far as character arc goes. So if you have a gappy, kind of uneven character arc, it's not going to be that satisfying. You want everything that the character does, experiences, etc., to inform this lie somehow, because honestly, that's how real life is with schemas, is that your whole world is kind of colored in the shade of this lie, and everything that happens to you will get fit into, yes, that totally makes sense, or oh, what? Like that didn't go along with my lie. So make that your characters kind of the way that they think, and it'll be a very kind of realistic growth out of the lie into the truth. So that is it. That's this video. I hope you're having a safe month of May. It's almost over. And yeah, I hope that everybody out there is staying safe, and both physically and mentally. If you're having a difficult time mentally right now, please, please, please reach out to somebody you trust, whether that is a family member, a friend, a significant other, or even a therapist if you need to. I'm going to link some hotlines down below. So if you're feeling like you're in a very bad place, please reach out to somebody, because life is hard enough right now without having to struggle by yourself. So find some help out there. Okay, that's it. I'm off my soapbox. Have a nice day.